Okay, we are
Mhm.
live, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
checking to see.
Nice. Okay, yeah, so
Okay, I can see we're live on LinkedIn. Fantastic. Hi, everyone.
hello.
Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comment section if you can see us, if you can hear us, if you're here with us today. Where are you joining us from? What do you do
Yes.
for work? How has your week been?
Talk to us.
How has your week been? How you're doing?
Yeah, we have Jimmy, Sahed, a
Hi,
LinkedIn
Jimmy.
user shows up.
Hi, Sahid. How are you? How are you doing? Where are you joining us from?
Indianapolis.
Nice, nice,
Nice.
nice. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
All right. If you're joining us from other platforms, let us know where you're joining us. We're live on YouTube and Facebook as well, and LinkedIn. Let us know where you're joining us
LinkedIn.
from.
Maryland. Nice. Winnipeg. Simciola.
Oh, nice, nice. Maryland, fantastic. Simi is joining us
Yeah. We have Franklin, Judith.
from Calgary, claims adjuster and insurance. Fantastic.
Uh-huh.
If you're joining us from Facebook, you would have to click on the link and you will be able to see your name and your picture. Hi, Franklin. Where are you joining us from? Houston. Nice. Linda from
Houston.
Illinois.
Nice.
Fantastic. Simi Solar from
Yeah.
Winnipeg.
New
All
Jersey. There we
right.
go.
Okay. Welcome. Hi, Franklin. Hi, Victor from New Jersey. How are you? What does everybody do for work? Let me know what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Eno Eka. I am a business analyst, change manager, agile, and scrum professional. I actually started my career as an accountant and I made that career transition into the tech space through business analysis years ago after practicing accounting for a while, and I was just looking for more. And I've been very, very passionate about technology. I love technology. I love to improve processes. I love to change things. I'm excited about making changes. And I just found a passion doing that. And when I found business analysis, that just seemed like the perfect career path because I always felt like I was in the wrong
Mm-hmm.
path because I just
Yeah.
didn't want to do the same thing over and over again. I love change. And I found business analysis and started that career. And fast forward to a couple of years, I found myself in positions where I was also helping other people to get started in the business analysis career. I was using my existing skills and experience working as a business analyst. I started my consulting company, I started consulting for institutions as well and organizations with my skills and experience. My experience spans across multiple industries and I have been able to leverage that. So if you're one of those people who were you're either one of those people who transition into a different career, well, I resonate with you on that. If you're one of those people who also has multiple industry experiences, my industry experience cuts across several industries, and sometimes it seems like I have so much I've done, how can I really put all of this together? Well, I was able to still do that with consulting, and I founded a business analysis school to push out the knowledge of business analysis through training, coaching, and certifications. And also with my consulting company, we provide IT and management consulting. Um, My guest is here, Sabrish. We had a session on the 2nd of July. It was a fantastic session. And we've gotten so much great feedback. People have reached out and asked more questions, and they wanted an encore of the session. So Sabrish is back again today. So
Hello.
welcome everyone who's here. And Sabrish, please introduce yourself. Let's get to meet you.
Okay, yeah. Welcome everyone, and good evening, good afternoon, good night for some of you who are joining from the States. I know we're probably 2 hours or maybe longer, or maybe ahead in time as well. So thanks to everyone who's taking the time today to join us. Like mentioned, I think we didn't expect an overwhelming response in the first session, and it is so it is such an honor to be back again to talk to you about IT and consulting, and to answer all the questions you might have. So to introduce myself, my name is Sabrish Chand, and I am a consultant, a coach, a mentor. I'm also an entrepreneur. I own a couple of businesses. I own a consulting business and also recently started a training business where I am taking my coaching and my experiences that I've gathered in working in different industries to help people to kind of transition into IT, or to help people to level up in their careers in the IT industry as well. So I started my career in sales, just like and I kind of naturally developed business analysis skills. So just to give you some background, I was born and raised in India, and I grew up in this house which had three generations of people living together. So my first, uh, kind of business analysis skills developed from my home, right? So I was more of a natural business analyst because I had to deal with like 16 to 20 people every day to get by. So I started understanding more about people, their behaviors, their requirements, right? Everything started for me from home. So I'm kind of a natural business analyst from that perspective. But I didn't realize that there was a career for me waiting, which was called business analysis back then.
Mm,
So I specialized in sales. I did really well. And I kind of was looking to get into IT as well. So I happened to kind of get in as an analyst, in a consulting company, and that's how it all started for me. So since then, I've been working on business analysis, and I slowly transitioned into other areas of IT as well as I grew. And just like I've worked in maybe a dozen or more industries, and yeah, I'll talk more about that in the upcoming section of this live event, I guess. So
fantastic.
yeah, nice to
Fantastic.
be here. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for being here, Sabrish. It's great to have you here. You have a wealth of experience. There's so much knowledge that you have, and you pour out into everyone that you meet, and we're happy to have you here. So without further ado, let's
Yeah.
get into the activity of the day, which is really talking about the building this consulting career for ourselves, leveraging our experiences and skills. If you've ever wondered what it's like to have your own consulting career, consulting practice, you have multiple industry experiences, and you're thinking, what can I do with this? How can I actually leverage it to the maximum? We're going to be talking about that here, and it's going to be a live session, interactive session. We're going to ask you questions. You can ask us questions too. Put your questions in the chat so that we can see them as well and respond to your questions. And any comments or contributions you have, please put them in the chat. So Sabrish, I'll let you take it off from here.
Okay. Thanks. So yeah, let's before we get started, I'll set the stage up for this event, and an agenda, so to speak. So what we're doing today is we're going to take a deeper dive into consulting, right?
Yeah,
So we talked about IT last time. We talked about how you can take your existing career and start mapping into an IT career last time, and we saw uh, how we can help you to kind of take it forward in the IT industry. So today we're going to take a different approach to this. We're going to look at more about consulting and what consulting involves, and hopefully that will give you a lot more clarity of some of the questions you already have. So, who is excited to get into today's topic? Put in the chat below. Let us know. Show us your excitement, LinkedIn
I
or
am
Facebook.
excited, very,
Yeah.
very excited, because there's always so much to learn, from you, and I'm excited to learn more about the consulting career in itself beyond IT. When people ask like, "What exactly do you do?" It's pretty hard for me to say because I'm like, it goes beyond IT, right? There's
Yeah.
marketing, there's human resources, there's
Yeah.
management. There's just so many aspects to consulting that's really really interesting. The strategy, I
Exactly.
love strategy. That's
Mm.
my zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh
All right. So, without further delay, let's get into the topic. Okay, so yeah, so again, welcome everyone, and and Sabrish here. And if you're joining just now, it's a live event that is going on right now. So if you are here and just listening in or just tuning in for the first time, um, feel free to let us know where you're from and drop in your profession as well. So we have received an overwhelming response based on our last event, and and I were just talking, and there seems to be a lot more questions than we thought people have about IT and consulting, and we decided to do this together. And we never know. We may be doing more sessions, but it just depends on how many questions we can get through in this event today. So the reason why we started doing this is because I want to talk a little bit about our mission, right? So, and I are immigrants. We settled in Canada. We've established our businesses here, and we've really brought our experiences, our different cultures, our backgrounds, our experiences from working with different organizations into something called as a business analysis or business analyst careers, in our careers. So, and that's how it started. And as we have grown into this kind of at a place where we have our own businesses and we try to help out as many people as we can, we realize the need of impacting a lot more people, right? And for us, this platform was perfect to reach a lot more people at the same time. So that's how it started. And today is the day where I want to officially put out there. This is me manifesting our vision
oh yes.
to all of you here, and with I'm so excited with here as well. This is our mission. Our mission 10K is nothing but to help at least 10,000 people to transition into IT and to help them get that 10 figure, sorry, not the 10 figure, the 10K per month income that they are after. So we want to help as many as 10K people to make 10K in their careers per month in the IT industry. And this all, we're hoping to get this um, done by the end of 2025. So we're going to need a lot more of your support. We're going to need a lot more of your engagement, and in helping us to help other people who are out there desperately in need for a career break in their lives. You want to add anything here?
So honestly, for me, when I think about it, to be honest, for a lot of people, it seems unattainable. And I really get that because as a new immigrant, new immigrant to Canada, it was unattainable for you. A lot of times you just want to just get that job to, pay your bills and all of that.
Yeah.
Um, but what I realized quickly, especially as someone who was able to start a consulting company in about 6 months of arriving Canada,
Yeah.
was just that, it was possible. As I was preparing for this session today, I had a flashback as to my first consulting gig. And I was just like, really, can I actually get paid five figures for my knowledge and skills that I didn't really value so much,
Yeah,
right? So I just want to let everyone here know, as long as you're listening to this session, whether you're going to watch the replay, that it is possible, and there are actually skills and experiences that you have that are valuable to other companies out there that are willing to pay you 10K and above. So yes, it is possible, and I just want you to believe in it, that it is possible.
exactly. Yeah. So start believing in yourself, and we're always there, but I think it has to start with you as
Yeah.
someone who believes in yourself and your capabilities, and that's really important as we go through this presentation today. So, what makes us qualified? And I think this is also a very common question that I get all the time. People ask me, okay, you've done it, so what makes you so qualified? So what I'm going to show you here is, with us together, we already have lots of experiences as individuals, but when we get together, it's a different element of like experience and wisdom and knowledge that we bring to the table, and we want to leverage that to help as many people as we can, right? So for example, we're talking about 30 years plus of combined experience, knowledge, wisdom, right? We're talking about 90 plus project experiences, using agile, using waterfall and so on, right? We're talking about 25 plus industry experience that we come with, and at least 10 transformational initiatives that we have worked as individuals in helping different organizations. Together, we could have impacted at least 5,000 plus, stakeholders and individuals around the world, and we have 30 plus credentials that we can, always showcase to people,
Mhm.
right? And we've generated millions in revenue. We've handled $1 million projects for different clients, and the best thing of all is we learned this not by accident. We learned it the hard way, right? We
Oh
learned
yeah.
it by making many mistakes.
Mhm.
In this process, we lost a lot of money as well at times, but that all counts towards that experience that we gathered. um, Many times, I remember the days when I was humiliated, I was backstabbed by people, people talking, about me behind my back, insulting me, just because I was here new, and people not believing in what I can do for them and for
Mhm.
their organization and so on. So all that, we've come across all that. And what we want to do is we want to help you to get through some of that earlier, and we want to help you shorten that time. So we could have taken 20, 30 years together to get here, but I think the intent here is to help people to get there sooner, so they have a good lifestyle for themselves and for their families. So
Very
that's,
important.
yeah. So that's basically what we want to achieve, and that's what our 10K, 10K mission is all about. In helping individuals achieve that 10K per month by 2025. Okay, so let me ask you this question. So, why do you want to join IT? Now, for people who are listening here, or who are here, participating in this live session, why do you want to be part of IT? Why don't you put in the chat? Let us know why you want to be a part of this. What do you see
Yeah.
in the industry that attracts you the most today?
Yeah, what's it about IT and what's it about tech? Like, I
Yeah,
know for sure, I kind of feel like with everything that happened since 2020 and the pandemic, a lot of
yeah,
people just it kind of opened people's eyes to this industry. Like, really, people make this
exactly.
much money. People can work remotely, especially people whose jobs didn't actually allow them to work remotely, right? I'm certain of that. And then of course the income and the lifestyle as well. When I tell people that I've worked remotely way before COVID, they were
Yeah,
surprised. Like, yeah, I've always worked remotely. When I
yeah,
tell people that I've always had all of these benefits because I work in tech, they're kind of surprised because a lot of careers don't give that opportunity. So I would also love to hear from other people, why moving into the tech career is, the tech industry is, a goal for a lot of them.
Yeah, why IT? Why not another industry?
Right.
And why now? I guess is the other question.
Why now, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just so curious. Are we getting responses? Because I don't see the chat moving. Just curious, people, if you're listening in, the intention of this is to give you as much information as we can, but I think we also want you to engage and ask questions, and that's the only way we can share knowledge with you all. So feel free to let us know what you think. Tell
Yeah.
us, yeah, share ideas.
Saeed says tech is the future of business and transactions. I want to join the moving train. Okay.
Okay.
Simi Sola says working remotely and the pay. Um, Femi says tech is the future. It's not so much about the money. Value exchange moved from barter to carries and
About
carries
that.
to coins and then fiat. The value chain is moving away from heavy production
Yeah. Yeah.
to system designs and automation. All right, fantastic. Anyone else want to share? Why? But I definitely resonate with a lot of the reasons why you've shared. It is the future for
Yeah.
sure. When people reach out to me and say I'm studying this degree, I'm like, well, make sure you get some tech skills, added. Some basic
Yeah.
data analysis skills, business analysis skills, right? That would help you. Design skills that would still help you. So interesting point here from Christopher. He says job security based on demand.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm
Interesting.
just so curious. I've heard this word so many times, and I'm just so curious. I don't know what people look for in that word, right? I don't understand what job security really means because I didn't have one. Because I knew that even when I was an employee, doing full time, nine
Yeah.
to five, I knew that that job was not secured. Like if I mess up with something, I'm gonna be gone from that organization. So uh,
Hmm.
yeah, if you're someone who's going after security, I just want you to be aware that there's nothing called as job security in this world, at least at this point in time, because
Hmm.
it's all based on performance and how you actually work in an organization. So anything could go wrong anytime. So just be mindful of that.
For sure. Yeah. But if you're in an in demand career, there's still a little bit
Mhm.
of kind of security because the truth is, even if you're laid off, right? Even
Yeah,
if the project, ended or
yeah,
budget was cut off, you can get a job like this, right? So that being in demand is really important. So
yeah.
Franklin says remote work gives you opportunity to work in across industries, impacts on one's life, and of course the pay. Um Prudence says it's about smart decisions and quicker implementation of value.
Mhm.
Okay. And Elvis says, I was advised BA is a step further into senior roles in supply chain. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Interesting. And then someone here, I can't see your name, delivering high quality products that can facilitate the work of clients, especially in the healthcare industry. Okay, fantastic. Great points. Great points
Yeah.
shared for sure. Great
Yeah,
points shared.
fantastic, fantastic. So I
Yeah.
got another question, to follow up on this, right? So IT is fine, but why did you choose consulting, or why are
Mm,
you looking at consulting as a career option? Why not a full-time IT, resource in an organization?
mm.
What attracts you most about consulting as a career?
Yeah, let me know in the chat or in the comments why consulting. Why consulting? So Briggs here is saying, I'm a medical doctor and I'm just curious about how this will help my career and my interests. Okay.
Yeah. So as a, if I may, as a medical doctor,
Mm-hmm.
you could still be a consulting doctor.
For
It's
sure.
concept,
Yeah.
the fundamental principles of consulting still
Mhm.
remains the same. It's
Yeah.
just that you're consulting on a different industry or niche.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other responses here? So if there's none, then we'll probably circle back on this a bit later. I got a few
Okay.
slides to cover. So basically, IT is vast, um, And today there are a lot of options to get into IT. And I know a lot of people who are kind of lost in this, right? So they got in with a passion, with goals and ambitions,
Mm,
but they're kind of stuck because they are not fully aware of how IT really works. So in that process, they're still trying to figure out. They don't know how to progress further. So they're kind of stagnated at a certain point in their careers, right? So if you are looking at becoming a consultant in IT, is first you have to navigate through IT to get on the other side, right? To become a
mm,
consultant, because you're going to leverage the expertise and knowledge and skills that you accumulate in IT
mm,
to go and consult for somebody or to provide solutions for somebody who is in need of those. Those.
mm,
So you definitely need somebody to handhold you, through this maze, because literally there's so many options. There's so many things you can do with an IT, and it's easy to get overwhelmed at times. And what are your thoughts on IT and consulting?
So honestly, my thoughts are, very same as yours. For
Hmm.
me, I'm very keen on finding that specialty, working within IT, doing a bit of everything, and then finding that specialty and taking it to the next level as a consultant, right? Whether
Yeah,
it's your domain experience, maybe you have a lot of experience in an industry, take that to the next level as a consultant with that industry. You have experience with a technology, take that to the next level, or you just have experience within a particular facet of IT, take that to the next level, as a consultant, right? If
yeah,
one company is willing to pay you X, then there are 10 companies out there willing to pay you 10X, right? So
yeah,
think in that way. When you're thinking about IT and of course consulting, and IT, it does not mean you have to be technical. Just wanted to reiterate that.
yeah, yeah. Because the more we talk about consulting, you will understand
Yeah.
that it's not just your IT or technical skills that plays a major role in consulting. It's more about strategies and understanding people, in
Mm,
general, is what lays the foundation for how you consult and who you consult for. Um, so let's move on to the next one here. So consulting is not a job,
yeah.
and I definitely encourage you to not look at it as a 9 to 5 job. It's something beyond that. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people want to become consultants, and they want to get into consulting, but they're operating as a full-time employee and with
Mm,
that mindset, right? And what happens is they get disappointed, because at times you will have to go beyond. You'll have
mm,
to think about things, even though when you're not at a client's site or workplace.
yeah.
It's definitely not a job, right? You
Mm,
don't do consulting. You are a consultant. It's
something.
something that you
Exactly.
be, right? So
Mm,
in other words, I want to say that consulting is it's actually a mindset.
it is.
It's more of a mindset than something you do for others. It's a mindset that you you employ to help other people, right? It's more of a service oriented mindset that you adopt,
Mm,
which is the deeper meaning of consulting. Yes, you
mhm,
can be transactional, but you cannot get much further with that mindset, right? You have
mm.
to have service oriented mindset, and that's when you start delivering value and start impacting other organizations and other people in life. So
I honestly agree with you on that. It's definitely a mindset, especially because being a consultant is not child's play.
yes.
For sure. It's there's a lot of responsibility attached with that. There's definitely a mindset, and just like he said, it goes beyond having technical skills. It's a lot of stakeholder management, working with people, having great communication skills, conflict resolution skills,
Hmm.
emotional intelligence, being able to have that finesse that
Yes.
is required. And you're that go-to person, right? You're being seen as that person that's going to come in and help them solve their problems. Is definitely a mindset
Yeah.
more than, having some skill sets.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of the most noble professions, in my perspective as well, because
Mm.
end of the day, if you look at it, you're helping
Mm-hmm.
somebody to get beyond, right? Their shortcomings, their problems. You're
Mm-hmm.
providing them, you're showing them a path,
Yeah.
which I really, really admire about this profession. And that's what keeps
Mm-hmm.
me going, because the fulfillment it gives um, is really unparalleled, and you can't really get that anywhere else in any
Yeah.
other job you do. um, and I think that's what keeps people like us going with this. So when we talk about consulting, we have to talk about two people involved in this. Okay. Now, one, obviously, there's going to be a client who has some kind of a problem and who needs help, right? So a client is someone who typically has a need or a problem to solve, or they have a pain that they are either vocal about, or they cannot tell people about it. They need advice and guidance on how to do something. Sometimes they need help to do something. You got to go in there to help them. Like if they want to move something from one place to another, you got to go help them move that thing from one place to another. They're often constrained with by time and resources. They want things to get done sooner, and most importantly, they are aware of the outcomes. They have an idea of what they want to achieve, but they just
Yeah.
don't have an idea of how to achieve it.
Yeah.
A- and as a result of this, most of the times you will see that they're suffering from a pain, not physical pain, but something that is constricting them from
Mm.
making a progress, or a leap of some sort, right? And that's when they need to talk to somebody like us, who can help them get through that barrier, whatever that is, and show them a way forward and build a sustainable plan for them to move forward as well. So that's basically what your client is going to be. These are some of the problems that or behaviors of a client that I see all the time in the
Mm-hmm.
market. What are your thoughts? Have you noticed these as well?
Yeah, for sure. When you think about a consultant, and I always, try to imbibe this mindset in my students, is that one, you're there to solve a problem, right? There is a need. That's why you're being brought on.
Mhm.
And when you are actually even asking those questions, you want to know what are the pain points, when you're having those clarity sessions, discovery calls, when you're speaking with management, you want to understand what pain points, what keeps them up at night. You're there to solve that problem, and you're there to provide advice as well, right? You're
Yeah,
being paid for the advice that you give, so you're a strategic
exactly.
advisor to the business. Always
Yeah.
remember that. And then also, when people bring in consultants to their business, they want results as fast as possible. So they're
Yes.
telling you, we want to get this done in 6 months, in 3 months, in 9 months. They know what they want, they know, but they don't know how to get there. So
Yeah.
you, as a consultant, is going to come in with your skills and experience and help them achieve that within the
Mhm.
time frame, or advise them on the best way to achieve that within the time frame and with the resources that they have.
Mhm.
I've worked with clients who, like, we cannot afford an expensive ERP, which is an enterprise resource planning solution or something like that. Do you have advice for us as to something more affordable within our budget of XYZ? That's where you come in as a consultant, right? Because
Yes.
you have an understanding of the industry, you know what works, you know their needs, and then you
Yeah.
can find the right solutions and work with the right people to get things done.
Yeah.
So these steps are so important as you're actually seeing this. I hope that, whoever is watching this, you're like taking notes of this. As you start your career as a consultant, you want to take note of all of this when you're engaging with your clients.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a quite. Looks like it's fairly quiet now. I think people are listening and they're taking
Yeah,
notes.
people are listening.
Yeah.
Sahid actually says that consulting is building my business, as against working for someone. I like that you have that business mindset,
Hmm.
entrepreneurship mindset. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's perfect. Yes.
There's a question here.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so Elvi says, so most consultants I have come across specialize in accounting and bookkeeping solutions. Do you have any
Hmm.
specialties? Mm-hmm.
Um, do you have specialties? Yes, I think we discussed this last time as well, right? So
Yeah.
they have an expertise in a subject called
Mhm.
accounting or
Yeah.
finance, and they're providing consulting on it, just like how we have expertise in IT
Mm-hmm.
in general, right? And we're going in as an IT consultant. But although people who specialize in IT also kind of understand the other areas or other domains as well, right? So because there's
Mm-hmm.
legal, there's procurement, there's audit, there is accounting a little bit involved. So there's various different areas within IT that are involved as well. So anyone can become a consultant. Anyone who has a good subject knowledge or
Yeah.
expertise in a subject can become a consultant. But the difference is how you deliver your consulting services. So most
Mm-hmm.
people go for, as soon as they have their subject matter expertise, they think they're good to become a consultant. But that's when they realize that they don't have the actual skills that it takes for them to go in and solve a problem. They might be good in a subject, but they
Mm-hmm.
can't solve a problem for
Yeah.
it. So that's where the difference is.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so I think we're good to move on, considering the time. So these are some of the problems that we commonly come across, right? So, like we were just talking about some of the problems. So there's a return on investment problem. Sometimes the clients come to us and say, hey, you know what? We've been putting money into this initiative. We've almost spent $100,000 or maybe $1 million into this.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see a way out. We are just, it just keeps going forever. We're not able to create something tangible for us to look at, and we don't know when we're going to get a return on investment. So they turn to a consultant for advice and recommendations to move forward. So we go in there, we provide solutions, we provide a way out and a roadmap and how to measure their progress and return on investment and so on, right? There could be problems in the people side of things within the organization. For example, let's say they want to reorganize their organization, right? There's a reorg happening, and it impacts different levels of people within the organization. They come
Mm-hmm.
in, they want guidance and recommendations on how to go about rolling out that change. Who do we first roll it out to, and what is the
Yeah.
impact, right? And how do we minimize that impact? Make sure that people's day-to-day operational activities don't get disrupted, and as a result, the business doesn't get disrupted, right? So that's another set of problems that we often come across. The third category here is the efficiencies. We have a lot of people in the organization. We have them working 24/7, for example, right? I'm just throwing it out there. Nobody's going to work 24/7, but they're working, in different shifts 24/7. We still don't get the outcomes we want. There is a lag somewhere, but we don't know what that is. Can you help us find that, right? And then give us recommendations on how we can improve it. And that's where the process side of things falls into in our consulting, right? So we go in there, we provide recommendations on what needs to be tweaked, how soon, and then how to measure that performance after the solution has been implemented. And systems, obviously, IT and tech is all about systems. Sometimes clients will not have an idea as to how to measure performance, what metrics to track, how do they really know if their performance is going up or down, like how do they see the trends and so on. And of course, implementation of new technology components or platforms or even new systems in the organization, or enhancing the existing systems within the organization, and how that impacts the rest of the organization, and how they can help people within the organization cope with that change and so on, right? Governance is again control and processes that are in place within the organization. Most of the organizations or clients we work with have a very weak governance structure, if at all they have one, right? Some of them don't even have governance or controls identified within their organization, which is a result of a lot of chaos that happens, and as a result, the performance goes down, and as a result, people within the organization are not happy. They leave, the business gets impacted. So it's a never ending cycle. Right there. Sometimes they need help finding good suppliers, good partners. We help them find one. We put out proposals, a request for proposals, and we help them strategize the whole RFP process to um, source the right people for them based on their culture and the need. And we help them kind of analyze the responses they received and guide them through that selection process in making
Mm-hmm.
sure that they find the right partner for their organization or for an initiative that they are employing within the organization. um, that also kind of goes hand in hand with procurement, because sometimes you might have to just procure a solution versus a partner, and pretty much the same process there. And most of the times, a lot of clients who I talk to these days, they don't have an idea of what they have in the organization. They want to invest in their tech portfolio, and they have no idea what they have within the
Mm,
organization. The organization has grown so much. There is so many platforms or technology components they have invested into. They keep paying for it. They don't know how much they are paying. They have an idea of how much they are paying, but they don't know why they are paying. Why they have so many different components, pieces of tech within the organization. So we go in there and try to help them, kind of consolidate things and tell them, which ones they need, which ones they can keep, and provide recommendations on, which ones they should invest further or grow further within the organization. So these are some of the common problems that as a consultant we deal with, right? And any problem basically that the organization deals with is usually organized into an initiative. Okay. And we
mhm,
talked about projects last time. So an initiative could end up becoming either a project or a program. Okay, a
mhm.
project is just one initiative, one solution, right? Or maybe a part of it. A program is a collection of projects which all employ or implement a different solution of some sort that are all executed in parallel, right? So we often end up working in projects, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide, actually. So these are some of the pieces of work that a consultant actually does. So when we talked about consulting, right, we saw who a client is because there's only two people involved there. A client is somebody who has a problem. A
Mm.
consultant who actually has a solution that they go, provide to a client who has a problem and need.
Yeah.
Okay. Just pausing there for a second. Do we have any questions so far?
Um, yeah, there is a question. Although the question says, how can I show my expertise to recruiters with just a bachelor's degree in my subject area and some college level experience? So, how many years of
Yeah.
experience? I'm wondering how many years of experience Timothy has. Um, and do you already have work experience? When you say college level, what do you mean by college level experience, Timothy?
Yeah. So I think what he's trying to say is he's probably, he's done a few things in college, like, he's
Mm,
participated in,
maybe
I don't know,
internship?
various, yeah, internships maybe,
Mm,
or extracurriculars, or, things
yeah.
like that, right? Or volunteering activities and so on. So I think any position you apply, it just sometimes it's not so much about what position you're applying for, right? All they are looking for in people they're hiring is for them to be able to articulate what
Mm,
they've done in their personal life and how that translates into the job they're looking for. I mean, they're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah, they're recruiting, right? So if you are able to articulate everything you've learned from those, activities, it could be volunteering, it could be extracurriculars, it could be a team sport that you played, you should be able to articulate that into the specific job that you're applying. I think that's what they will look for mostly. Any
Yeah, I
thoughts?
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. If there's no other question, let's move on.
Yep.
Okay. So the next key role, or the person within the consulting realm, is a consultant. Obviously, a consultant is nothing but a perceived expert in a subject or a practice who helps a client who's in need, right? They are going in there to either satisfy a need or to help a client resolve a problem by providing consulting services. And it is often done through a mutually agreed upon, contract or an agreement, right? We call it agreement, but some people do call it a contract as well. So it's an agreement that says, I understand what your problem is, client, and this is what I'm going to do to help you with this. Do you agree? Right. So that provides an opportunity for the client to ensure that they have articulated the problem well, and to also ensure that the consultant has understood the problem that the client has and is going to help the client provide the right, by providing the right solution and in guiding through the right process to reach that solution that they mutually agreed upon. So the work of a consultant falls into three major areas. Okay. So you have the project consulting, which we already talked about. So initiatives can become projects or programs. And anytime when there's a project, these are different, roles and that a consultant could take. And we talked about this in our last session as well. So you have project managers, change managers, business analysts, quality assurance leads, architects, and developers that are part of projects. And sometimes you have support people. For example, you have a server administrator, network administrator, maybe a storage, a database administrator who's involved as well. So there's different roles that a consultant could take when it comes to projects, and usually there's a specific outcome that the project is after, and depending on the outcome and depending on your capabilities, you are allowed to take one of these roles as a consultant. The next area in consulting is in the operational space, right? So meaning um, you become a part of a team or a business unit or business area, and you help them with a number of things like research analysis, right? And you do your as is, your current state mapping and your future state mapping. You do road mapping, activities to a certain extent. You help them with any documentation, any training related things that they want to document. Sometimes it could be documenting procedures and policies and things like that. And you're involved in coaching stakeholders who you work with, or maybe coaching other team members who you work with on a specific technology, process. It could be anything within the organization where you have expertise in. So you're basically, instead of working on a project, you're working with a team to kind of do some of these activities. And sometimes you will have business analysts working in operations, or in the business areas, also performing ongoing business analysis on their existing business unit. Um, they're part of. And finally, the last area of consulting is the management consulting. So that's more on the strategic side of things, right? So you have strategies, tactics, principles that you adopt, and management consulting is all about working with people, especially in leadership, in organizations. You would be working with managers, directors, and above, sometimes C-suite as well. And you would be, you would be talking to them about strategies, um, or related to investments. Sometimes it's about mergers and acquisitions, understanding the strengths and weaknesses, evaluating who potential clients could be for buyouts and things like that. You're talking to them about reorgs and how to go about it, implementing reorgs or implementing new policies in the workplace and how that's going to be impacted, and how to prepare people for these new policies and procedures and so on, right? And you're also helping them with roadmap, and creating plans to achieve that roadmap within a certain period of time. And sometimes you might even go in there to do some audits for clients, um, uh, on certain areas of IT, or it could also be within an operational area as well. So there's a number of things that you would have to do as a management consultant. um, Again, there's specific credentials, the specific skills and knowledge and expertise that you need to have and you need to learn, as part of that. So each of these areas will require you to learn different set of skills, as you go through this consulting realm. So any questions on this one?
Well, we do have a question here from Elvis. He says your presentation is rich. Do you have tips to develop the skill sets required for solution analysis and design?
Okay. Solution analysis and design. Yes, I would say um, look at TOGAF, the open. It's called the Open
Architecture
Group
framework.
Architecture Framework.
Yeah.
So look at that. That provides a lot of insight into what you need to know when you are considering solution and analysis and design as a career. And I think the fundamental concept of a solution architect is you have to be technically strong as well. Like you have to understand how
Yeah.
systems work. You have to have that design thinking, your systems thinking, design mindset,
Yeah.
and so on. Plus, proper uh, knowledge and experience in designing systems, right? And infrastructure components as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Elvis is confirming TOGAF. Yes,
That's
TOGAF.
correct. Yes.
TOGAF.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
really,
We were
I really
so.
love this slide. Just seeing that breakdown, it really gives that clarity to anyone who's been thinking, right? Maybe
Yeah.
they might feel like, oh, I don't really have a lot of project, focused experience, but maybe in the operational side you do, or maybe in management consulting. So this takes me back to Elvis's question, saying that a lot of consultants he'd worked with were more of accounting and sort of finance based. Maybe he's worked with a lot of the big four consultants who are more of management consultants, right? Because I've
Mhm.
worked with them and
Mhm.
they do
Yeah.
more of management consulting. I mean, now they have technology
Yeah.
consulting, units within their businesses, but they've always been very
Yeah.
management focused. Um,
Hmm.
there's a question here. Um, okay, Precious says, I studied petroleum systems engineering and I'm looking at pivoting into project management. Any tips, please? I'm really looking at having applying for jobs.
Okay. You want to go? You want to take that question, or do you want me
Yeah,
to?
I mean for sure. So, you're an engineer, Precious. So, do you have, I don't know if you just joined the session, but if you do have experience working on an initiative that was a project, then I would advise you putting them on your resume while you were in school studying. I want to believe you're a new grad, since you're referring to your course of study. Were there any projects you were involved in during your time at school? I know with engineers as well, they also have internships that they do. You want to put that experience and focus more on the project. So a project is anything that has start and end date. You're able to achieve a solution, deliver a product or a service. So anything that you did during that time that had a start and an end date, you delivered a product or a service, a solution, then you want to highlight that on your resume. And of course, talk about the metrics around the project, the size of the project, the size of the team, the
Yeah.
budget. You want to talk about the the frameworks that you use. Was it waterfall? Was it agile? And if you're looking into project management, I definitely would recommend, getting that knowledge of the agile methodology and a couple of frameworks like Scrum and Safe as well. I hope that's helpful for you.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I also want to add about the credentials. So make sure you start looking at the certifications that the Project Management Institute and other there are other
CAPM.
institutions as well. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
CAPM. I
Hmm.
think even Axelos has some kind of an entry
Yes.
level PM certification that they provide. So start looking into all that, and you will find that most of the project management principles are pretty much the same.
Same. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree with that. Um, there's another question here from Christopher. He says, "What does a BA need to know about interfaces? That is APIs." Sabrish.
Okay. So APIs is just it's more of a communication
Exactly.
protocol, right? That's used to integrate to systems. So what do you need to know as a BA? I think you just need to understand, the functionality of it, and just understand what that API is for and what does it do. And if it's sending and receiving data, just you
Hmm.
need to understand how those data elements are mapped between the two
Exactly.
systems. That's the extent of it.
Yeah, definitely. So, just like Saprish said, it's basically how systems communicate, integrate, right?
Yeah.
You pick up your phone, you do a transfer, the person receives it in another bank, you do a Western Union or MoneyGram, it goes to another country, things like that. Understanding how systems
Yeah.
communicate. And as the business analyst, you know what you need to focus on is really how the data is mapped, how data moves from one endpoint to the other, and of course working with your team, your technical team on this. But of course, there's a lot of information on APIs that you can quickly actually read up to give you that foundational knowledge. You're not going to actually have to write the codes or anything like that, but that knowledge is definitely important.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Precious says she did some projects in school. So make sure you put those
Good.
projects in your resume. She also
Yes.
has a business. So she said she has a small business she's running.
Yeah.
So projects within your business as well, highlight them on your resume.
Yes.
And she says, thank you, Sabrish. You're welcome. You are
Yeah. You're
welcome.
welcome. Yeah. And
And you are welcome, Christopher, as well.
yes, and that's why we're here, and that's why we encourage you to ask us a lot of questions because we want to share as much knowledge as possible within this limited
Yeah.
time we have with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have an understanding of consulting and who's involved in consulting, you know, we again talked about the transition between from where you are to becoming a consultant, right? So this transition is not going to happen overnight, right? You would have to, again, this is a principle that we apply when we solve problems, right? So when we try to solve a problem, we try to get closer to the solution. So our first step is to get as close as possible to the solution, right? Not to find a solution for the problem immediately. So you're at A, you want to get to B, right? I think the first thing you should be looking at is, how do I get to number one or A1 in this particular slide, right? So you need to do everything it takes for you to make that transition. Again, most people um, talk to us about wanting to make that transition, but most people don't take action, right? They consume a lot of information and they consume a lot of content. They go to YouTube, they find a lot of videos, they watch them all, they read books, they read a lot of materials online as well. What's really needed here, if you want to get from A to B, is for you to start taking action to get to one first and then two second, right? And then three. So you have that consistency and that momentum built, and eventually you will get to point B, right? So you need transformation, not information. And most people think that they can get away with information and you can get to one. So information is not going to help you to get to one. You need transformation. And in order for you to achieve that transformation, you need somebody to guide you through this process and to teach you what you need to know and how you can make that transition happen for yourself. Okay. But I'll tell you this, what ends up happening when you go from a point A to point B on this slide is you will see that you have become a better version of yourself. And that is the fulfillment that you will get. And that's, it's just incomparable to anything that you would achieve. Yes, you would have achieved, um, financial stability or financial confidence. You would have achieved a reputation in the marketplace. You would have achieved recognition in the marketplace as well. But what's more important is you would start looking at yourself so differently. You would be so happy with who you have become in this process, right? And that's why it's called a transformation. So, in order for any transformation to happen, you have to apply action, not information.
That was very profound. That
Yep.
was very profound. For transformation to happen, in order for any transformation to happen, you have to apply action, not information. And I so much agree with you, Sabrish, because we're such consumers,
Yeah.
right? We like to consume information. We're on YouTube, on TikTok, searching, on Google, on
Yeah.
Udemy, everywhere, just pouring in a lot of information to ourselves. We're not taking the action,
Yeah.
because taking the action is where the transformation occurs. You can get all that knowledge, but if you're not actually doing, right,
Yeah.
there's nothing that happens, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
action to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be like that as well. So that's why I know this firsthand because I used to be a consumer of a lot of content, and it
Yeah.
just, for the moment you will feel like you have picked up something, but
Mm.
any knowledge that you gained and you haven't applied is not a knowledge that you will retain,
Mhm. Mhm. I
right?
agree. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree. I think we've all faced that as well. And I think it's very typical with um people of color, immigrants. We feel like, oh, the
Mm.
next thing we need to do is get this other degree, get another degree, take
Yeah.
another course, do this. Like, all about consuming, but how about taking action with what you
Yeah.
already have, what you know, what you've learned,
Yeah.
taking that action and creating that transformation.
Yeah.
It's very profound. And I meet a lot of people who say, oh, I'm learning Python, what next should I learn? Should I learn Python or R or this? And I'm like, why are you learning that? Well, I saw this video, or I was told this. Well, what about the
Hmm.
one you know already? If you already know Excel, you already know Power BI, how are you
Hmm.
leveraging that before you start adding more on yourself? So this is very profound. And for anyone who's listening, I hope that this is actually helping you to rethink about how you're planning your career.
Yeah. Yeah, just think yourself, like learning to ride a bike. You can't
Mm-hmm.
keep watching somebody ride a bike. You have to literally get on it
Yeah.
and ride it, and only then you will
Mhm.
learn. Of course, you will fall down a few times, but you will learn at the end of it,
Exactly.
and you will
Exactly.
get to that point B, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I'm talking about, and I hope this resonates with all of us. So if you are somebody who is watching, who consumes a lot of content, just take a little bit of action and see the difference that it makes. You will see that you will retain that knowledge much better when you apply it
Mm-hmm.
right away.
Exactly. There's a
Yeah.
question here. Um, Franklin says, how would a CPA transit into a business analyst?
Yeah, it's same as an accountant, right? So you can
Mm-hmm.
still become a finance business analyst because you can still work with different banks, um,
Mm-hmm.
different organizations that are into the finance industry or maybe an insurance industry. So you still have those options that you can leverage, right? So anything you have currently is an asset. Write that
Exactly.
down for me. Please write it down. Any experience you have, anything you have with you
It's an
is an
asset.
asset that needs to be treasured, right? Just don't trash that because there's so much
Mm-hmm.
value in what you have accumulated. And all you need to do is take that and map it to a business analyst role.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. And
Yeah.
you will see that you will automatically be eligible to apply for BA jobs anywhere.
Absolutely. And just to also buttress what you said, your experience and skills are valid. You have already positioned yourself as a CPA. You're already certified, as a professional accountant. So you
Yeah,
want to take that, and then add on some business analysis skills and leverage that asset that you have in
yeah,
the finance space. For sure. I've worked with
yeah,
so many CPAs who've been able to move into business analyst roles,
yeah,
leverage the business analysis skills, getting that knowledge of business analysis. You can always, come to the business analysis school and we can help you achieve that, because what you have, your experience is already valid and you have already been carrying out business analysis even with your CPA
yeah,
designation, trust me. So there's no transit in there. It's really just
yeah,
taking action to get the transformation you need.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about your map, your map that you would have to use to get to a management consultant shortly. But
Hmm.
I think the first step for you is start looking into business analysis as a career. Start working towards that. That's the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
Transformation, not information. So please keep that in mind. Um, Okay, let's move on to the next one. So the three myths that I often, come across that really holds people back from achieving what they want. Um, the first myth is they always ask me, "Hey, Sabrish, can I do this even if I haven't achieved any major success in my career?" You know, and I tell them, "Yes, you're already in a career, which in itself is an achievement." And so there's no question about can you achieve becoming a consultant with whatever you have. So again, this goes to what we talked about, right? Don't worry about massive success. You do not need to have massive success. You do not need to be successful in what you've done. As long as you have something to go by, you've learned something, you've got an experience that you can leverage and use that to become a business analyst or a consultant. That's all that matters.
Exactly. And I'd like to add to that too. When people always say, "Oh, I haven't had success in my career," and downplaying the experience that they
Yeah.
had. So, for example, you might have been a part of a digital transformation project, at your current company or your past company. So, because you weren't the consultant or the project manager or the program manager, doesn't mean you can't actually own that achievement if you're a part of that project team, right? The
Yes.
project win is also your win, right? If you were part of an initiative that helped your company to save X amount of dollars, that is
Yes.
a win for you in your career. So you want to look at your career, audit your career, and see the successes you've had, so far. If you helped your company move from being fully a paper organization to a digital organization during your time there, then that is also your success.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you want to actually leverage that, because that same success you have can be replicated 100 times.
Yes. Yes, that's a great point, and thank you for bringing that up. Um, so let's move on to the next one. So the second thing I always hear from people who talk to me is, "Hey, can I do this even if I'm not an expert in IT? Can I become a consultant even if I don't have a lot of expertise in IT?" And my response to them is always yes. So there's things that you absolutely need to know, which are the fundamentals in IT. And as long as your fundamentals or your foundation in IT is strong, you do
Mm,
not need to be an expert, or know everything in IT in order for you to become a consultant. There's ways to leverage what you know, and then how you can use that to provide consulting services to clients, right? So these are some of the things that we teach you in our course in our school as well. So yeah, definitely, just look us up. If you are somebody who's thinking that you're not an expert and who thinks that consulting may not be for you, you definitely need to check us out. At some point in time. Uh, you want to add anything here, or should I move on?
I agree with everything you said, because the truth is, you can still leverage the experience you have, and you need to be an expert in IT to actually be a consultant. Like we shared earlier,
Mhm.
there's different levels of consulting. There's project, there's operational, there's management. Not everybody's going to actually have to work on technological projects.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing is, can I do this even if I don't have many skills? Now, again, I believe that all of us are born with certain skills. None of us are born without any skills at all. So I usually help people to identify, what they're strong at, meaning what they're naturally good at. Just like how I explained, I was a natural business analyst because of my situation and the environment I grew up in, right? The same way you could have skills that you're probably not aware of, or you don't think those are your skills, right? Or your strengths. So we will help you find those for you, and that becomes a foundation, right? Yes, you need to have IT skills, you need to have tech skills, you need to have digital skills, consulting skills, and so on. But that doesn't limit you from starting your path as a consultant, is what I'm trying to say. So if you are someone who thinks that you need to have many skills to become a consultant, I would say that's not true. Okay, so start from where you are, and you can slowly build upon your skills. And I do teach a lot about growth stacking and skill stacking and all that in my to my students, and that's something that I can help you with. Any thoughts?
We all have skills, right?
Yeah.
And like I shared this earlier, when you're young in your career and you see those consultants coming to your company wearing the suits and all of that from those big consulting companies, you're like, oh, these guys, they just know so much, you're so intelligent. But
Yeah.
then again, you when thinking back now, not exactly, right? We
Yeah.
were even doing more of the hard work, they were doing more of the strategic work, right? They would just
Yes.
come in with a roadmap and they would have a presentation, and they tell us this is where we are, this is where we're going to be at the end of 1 year, and this is how we're going to achieve it. And in
Mhm.
between that plan of the current to the future, they create that roadmap for you. And they basically just tell you this is what you're going to do to help us get there. They're
Yeah.
just creating that strategy, right? That's a skill that they have, and they're leveraging that in management consulting, right? So you
Yeah.
don't need to have many skills to be a consultant at all. No, that
Yeah.
one skill you have, or two or three, those core soft skills you have can also be leveraged.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, people like and I, we're always there to help you with those skills as well. Because at every stage in your consulting career, you're gonna need different set of skills that you would need to develop, and
Exactly.
which is why we have our schools, focusing
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
skill development in helping those people, people achieve, learn skills as they go, right? So we're here for you, and if you think you need help with skills, do definitely reach out to us. Okay, so I think we're probably nearing the end of
Oh, yeah.
today's session here. So what I want to actually show you here on this slide is your map. Now, we talked about consulting today at a much deeper level, and we talked about the client and the consultant and what a consultant does, what problems the clients have, and so on. So, in order for you to go from that point A to point B that we talked about earlier, these are your four stages, or four steps, right? So you start off by becoming a business analyst, right? And by becoming a business analyst, um, you don't have to go independent right away, right? You can still get into that business analyst position, get that 100K kind of a job, if you want, or you can join a consulting company and work there full time as well. Then slowly transition into a business analyst consultant, right, by providing consulting services on business analysis, right? And then you can go into much more like an independent consultant where you have your own company, your own people, and all that, right? So the people part comes at stage 4, because that's when you know how to run a company, how to, look at how to read your financial statements, how to hire the right people to help you
Yeah.
with your consulting services. So that's a different ball game altogether, right? So those are the four different stages of a business analyst, or from an individual to a business analyst to a consultant, that I see,
Hmm.
that you
Yeah.
can use in your careers today. So what do you need to start your consulting practice? Well, I think I've listed down all of it here. So you need competencies, you need skills, you need knowledge, you need education. You definitely need a mentor or a guide. You need community. When I say community, that's your tribe, or people who are in your similar um, journeys in their lives, who are also trying
Hmm.
to go through this transition or transformation in their lives. And absolutely, yeah, you will need eventually a business, and you will need clients who will come to you for consulting services. So this, in a nutshell, is your roadmap. And
Hmm.
a lot of people have asked me for this, and I'm glad that I was able to put something together for you today. And I hope this slide provides additional clarity on some of the questions you had about consulting as well. So, what do you think? How does it provide you clarity?
For me, I'm just thinking like, wow, I wish I had this earlier in my career. I didn't have this kind of visual, this kind of roadmap that actually shows what it's like. I always said, oh, I want to have my own consulting company. I want to be a consultant because I just always, let me
Yeah,
tell you a childhood secret of mine. I always thought people who wore suits were smart. I thought they were rich. I just thought they were classy and all of that.
yeah,
And when I was younger, I was like, I just want to be able to just wear those suits. I love to follow my dad to like the bank because I like to see people wearing suits and just
yeah,
looking so good. And then, I always said I wanted to have my own consulting company. And even when I was studying accounting, I always felt like, oh, maybe if I work in a consulting company, then I can now learn how to have my own consulting company and all of that. But
yeah,
it didn't even happen that way for me because I just moved into business analysis and became a
yeah,
consultant like that. And now I have my consulting business.
yeah,
Everything happened so rapidly for me that of course I made a lot of mistakes, doing this all
yes,
by myself without
yeah,
having that mentorship, that guidance, that community, understanding how a business works,
yeah,
just leveraging on my skills and my experience. So I love this because everyone here can see a visual and really see the steps and can identify, where am I right now? Am I just still that individual that's trying to transition into business analysis? Am I a business analyst and ready to do some consulting work? Am I a consultant and I'm ready to go independent and do this by myself? Or am I doing some independent consulting here and there, a 6 month, 3 month contract, things like that? And I want to actually become a business owner, employ people, and grow
yeah,
my consulting practice. And just also seeing what is really required. What are the things that I'm lacking? Like I know what I was lacking in the beginning, and there were a lot of things like mentorship, community, understanding how the business works, and of course,
yeah.
getting the clients, yes, but retaining those clients and finding more clients as well. So I really love this map. Love it so much.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Also, so yeah, so I think the one thought that I want to leave you on this map is, when you are thinking about this, just don't think about the different stages you go through, right? Look at the end. That's going to be a
Exactly.
better
A
version
better
of
you.
yourself. That's what is
Exactly.
important. Not the money, not the flexibility. End of the day, you're going to be the best version of yourself. And I think
Yeah.
that's the most valuable thing that you could get in this transformational journey, which,
Hmm.
yeah, which I got. I'm sure has got as well.
Oh
And that's
yeah.
fulfilling to get in this, and to be able to give it back.
Hmm.
There's, yeah, it's just incomparable to anything you could achieve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
definitely a better you at the end of the day.
Hmm. Okay, so I think I have a couple more. If you like the previous slide, you'll probably like this as well. So this is our master consultant ascension path. So this is
Mm.
specific to the consulting certification programs that I put together for my students. Right, it shows you a map of how you can Like these are different skills. Again, we talked about the different areas in which a consultant works. So these are different skills that you can accumulate, you can add on to your career as well, which will help you to progress through that map that I just showed you, right? So start off with business analyst, but that doesn't stop you from acquiring like an operational consultant skills or tactical consultant skills, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those are in parallel, or are something that you can actually acquire when you're also learning about business analysis and you're trying to become a business analyst as well. So the highest of this value ladder is the master consultant, just because of the different types of problems they solve, and the higher you go, the more your income grows.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, so and also if you look at the bottom, you will see that 81% of the people are doing what? The 9 to
Their
5,
employees, yeah.
right? And then you start consulting, you automatically get into that 10% revenue bracket. That,
Mm,
and that is powerful, I think. How would you feel if you're part of that 10%? Wouldn't you feel
mm,
confident? Wouldn't you feel um, that you can afford anything for your family, for yourself?
mm-hmm.
How would that make you feel? Just think about that. So yeah, so as you go further, you will finally get to that 1% in your revenue uh, bracket within your own country, or uh, yeah, your GDP. Okay, so this is what I feel. I've come across a lot of consultants, right? And this is one of the reasons why I started my own school as well. And of course, it was a selfish idea to start a school because I wanted to create my own team of consultants, and we
Mm,
wanted to be called the elites,
mm-hmm.
who could go in there and who can work on any type of problem. So that's basically why I started. I wanted to get my first 10 consultants to become a part of my core team, and that's how the idea originated. But now I'm looking at 10,000 people. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm also looking at, out of those 10,000 people, at least 100 people will help me, become part of that core community, a core consultant group that we can go and help organizations. So I've worked with a lot of consultants, and I feel that the IT industry is filled with a lot of so-called consultants who provide average solutions that create below average results for clients. And I know for a fact that there are a lot more opportunities awaiting for the right kind of consultants. And like I said, I want to create the right kind of consultant. And I just need to find those 10,000 people. I don't know if
Mm,
you're watching today. I don't know if you're watching online and you're not active here. That if you're one of those 10,000 people, I urge you to take action. Remember, information
mm-hmm.
is not going to get you from point A to point B. It's the transformation that you need, and you
Yeah.
need people like us to help you with that transformation. So I'm trying to redefine IT consulting globally, and I'm looking for my 10,000 people, out of which at least 100 will be part of my team. So if you are out there listening, reach out and let's talk about next steps. Okay, so I think at this point in time, I just want to bring up this. I actually wanted to wait for this, but I'm so excited right now. Can I go ahead and
Oh
talk about
yeah,
this?
absolutely. Definitely talk about the masterclass happening on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah, so definitely. So I hope people on this event right now have at least got a little bit more than what you already had, which is exactly what we intended to do, right? We wanted to make sure that this 1 hour of your time you give us is valuable to you, and you get clarity on what IT consulting is all about, right? And I'm hoping you got that today. So we're doing another deeper dive session on the Saturday, the July 16th, and the reason why we made it, in fact, I wanted to make it 297, but said, no, we have to keep it at 447 to let people in. So I'm going to keep it at 47 this time only, right? I'm going to do a focused deep dive into what you need, and we're going to share our 6 steps or our 6 strategies that we used to make that 6 figure income for life. So we make that, once we hit that 6 figure income, we've been making that consistently almost every single year, right? And it's going to be the same, and in fact it's growing further, but it's not coming down, right? So once you hit that mark, your brain expands, right? And you stick to that. So we're going to share with you those 6 steps that we used to get to where we are today, and how we started with our business and so on. So it's a deeper dive, it's a master class. And again, I want you to take action. I want us to keep it focused as well, which is also a reason why we priced it at 47, because we can't handle too much. We want to keep it focused. We want to keep it focused on um, specific set of individuals and their questions. So it's much more personalized event for all of us. So if you are out there listening, this is your opportunity to grab a seat at this event. Um, what are your thoughts now? Do you want to
Oh,
say
yeah,
something?
I definitely believe that, and I know that because, we've been, working on this masterclass, and there's just
Yeah.
so much content with regards to like the handouts that have been prepared for each of the 6 steps that you
Yes.
can take away, the workbook that you would
Yes.
receive to actually start to map out and plan how you can take yourself from, being that person who's trying to transition, just that employee, to actually growing your consulting
Yes.
practice and career. It's a live class. It's practical, 2 hours
Yeah.
where we work you through those steps of the consulting mindset. So right now in
Mm.
the chat, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, you would see the link right there.
Yeah.
I had to convince Sabrish to
Yeah.
give this as an offer to the audience on the live, only people who are on the live right now, to secure their seats for
Yeah.
this class on Saturday. It's a 2 hour master class that really just breaks down how to actually take the knowledge you have and move into that consulting career, whether it's in project consulting, operational consulting, or management consulting. And it's going to be a deeper dive into the career path and also the practice, owning your business. And like I said, for each of the 6 steps, there are workbooks you're going to actually have to fill out. You're going to actually document a lot of things and take it away to start to plan for your future.
Yeah.
And it's a live class on Zoom. It's private, so you can ask any questions. We would tell you everything that we have done so far to be able to move from just being employees to actually owning consulting businesses, having people who work in our businesses, how we're able to get clients, retain clients, how we're able to create that community, and how you can be a member of our community. The skills and competencies that would always make you in demand, where you're not there's always that fear people have of, oh, as a consultant I can always get laid off, or my project could end, and I'll be looking for work for a couple of months. So the strategic skills that you need to have, the competencies that you need
Yeah.
to have, that would ensure that you have a thriving consulting practice.
Yeah.
And really that mindset, the mindset part is so important. And we talk about everything. And also your money, as you start to have those clients, what do you do with growing your business?
Yeah.
So we talk about all
Yeah.
of that in detail.
Yeah. I think if somebody's looking to make 10K per month,
Yeah.
$47 should not be a problem. It's interesting because I was buying pizza. We ordered pizza last night, and it costed me like $47, and it hit me.
That's funny.
And I was thinking to myself, hey, you know what? I could buy pizza for $47, and I don't feel bad about it, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to investing in a course that's $47, I have people thinking so much about it, right? Um, that just hit me yesterday. I was thinking about it, and I was like, why wouldn't you invest $47 into
Mhm.
something that
Yeah.
would be with you for life?
Yeah.
versus, you have pizza and the next day it's gone, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was profound, but yeah, it's something I was thinking about last night when I ordered pizzas, and boy, that $47 really stuck in my mind, and yeah, and I paid that bill.
Okay, so someone's asking for the link. Please, can you let me know where you're asking from because I can't see your name. So,
It looks
but
like yeah.
I have posted it to Facebook. I have posted it to Facebook. Let me know where you're actually joining us from. That would be easier. So I can or you can send me a message after this session. But the link is already on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Oh, Rufaro. Okay, Rufaro, I will send it to you. I will send it to you. Okay. So there are a couple of questions, Sabrish. So someone was saying on the map there, Elvis was asking, on the map there isn't project manager, and he's asking why. That was that just an example, or is it all inclusive all the
Yeah,
different
so
careers?
because we're dealing with business analysts, right? So it could also be a parallel, like if you want to draw a same map for a project manager, yeah, you could
Mhm.
still map out instead of business analyst, you could have a project manager and then a project management consultant, and
Yeah.
then independent consultant, and then a consulting business owner. So it's the same path. It's just that because we are business analysts, and we really believe that even if you're a project manager, you still need to have business analysis skills.
Mhm.
That's why it's here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Sahid is saying, thank you, Sabrish and Eno, for this wonderful information shared today. I understand more about how to become a consulting business owner that I've always dreamed of. Love that. Fantastic. I hope to see you in the
Yeah,
masterclass where we even
yeah,
get to, talk about, deeper things about building out that consulting practice, whether
yeah,
it's project consulting, operational, or management. And I really love the Ascension ladder as well, moving from employee to master consultant, right? So, consultant in the making, operational consultant, tactical consultant, strategic consultant, and then becoming a master consultant, and really just talking about the skills and competencies needed at every level. Because, like Sabrish said, you have to grow into it to become a better you. And I'm really looking forward to the
yeah,
class on Saturday because trust me, the material, I was telling Sabrish, I'm like, this material is like MBA material. It's a lot.
yeah,
But that's how much value you would get, if you feel like this was great, the masterclass would be even better. And that's for certain. With the masterclasses, we definitely try to give you way more than you even need to help you get going, on the go. And
yeah,
like Sabrish said, he has instituted a consulting certification company that certifies you as a consultant, because the goal is to um, work on building these professionals who become these expert consultants, not average, that can really go into any industry, any company, and solve problems, identify pain points, and of course provide those solutions. Any
yeah.
questions before we round it up? Thank you so much for being here. This has been so
Yeah,
insightful. Thank you so much,
just
Sabrish,
one
for
one
the
last
fantastic
thought.
slides. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Just I want to leave us with one last thought here. So I think these are the four fundamental elements for a guaranteed success in life, right? So if you are someone who's looking for any success in your life or your career, it all starts with you, right? You start believing in yourself, you start believing that you're able to achieve that success for yourself and for people around you, right? The four fundamental elements you need are your mindset. It depends on how you look at yourself and how you look at others. Your skill set, how can you do things for others and for yourself who are dependent on you? Your actions, what actions do you take at the right time and at the time when it matters the most? And finally, the right mentor. Who do you learn from? Who do you look up to? Who do you ask for guidance? And all these play a vital role in determining your success in life or career. So if you're someone who's looking for this, these are the fundamental elements that you will need to understand in order for you to get there to point B and to become a better version of myself, of yourself. So I hope today's class gave you much clarity. I hope it was valuable for you. You learned a thing or two. If you did, put in the comments, let us know. And yeah, put in the chat as well. Let us know anytime. Um, and yeah, do make sure you come to the masterclass because it's going to be mind blowing. And I'm pretty sure you will become a different, you'll look at yourself differently after that class. So over to you, Thanks for your opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here and really coming to speak to us. This was such a fantastic presentation. Looking through this, I already knew that we would have a fantastic time. I'm not sure why the chats are not updating here, but I definitely see on LinkedIn with Sahid saying thank you, and I agree with the success formula for sure. The right mindset, skill set, the right action, and the right mentor or coach is definitely going to guarantee you that success.
Yeah.
Elvis is asking, he says, thank you for the presentation. He's asking if it's $47 for the Saturday session. So, yes, that would be on Saturday. It's a 2-hour class, and that's a master class with a deep dive into, getting started in consulting with the 6 steps that we would be discussing.
Yeah.
All right. Rafaru says,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
She says, thank you. And then Sabrish, you're both changing lives.
It's an
You're
honor.
welcome. You're very
Yeah,
welcome.
you're
Very
welcome.
welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sabrish. This was a fantastic session. Being able to see it visually, how to really map out our careers is so helpful. And I know that when people also watch the replays, they're gonna actually get a lot of insight. You shared so many profound things. Definitely transformation requires
Yeah.
action, not information. You said anything that you have is an asset that needs to be treasured. That is so important. Your skills and experience are
Yes.
assets that needs to be treasured. We don't need to be consumers of information. We just need to take action. We need to have the right mindset, skill sets, action, and mentorship that guarantees us success. Thank you so much, Sabrish. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks everyone. You all have a great rest of the evening or good night, and I'll see you on Saturday. And make sure to click the link and sign up. And yeah, we'll do a deeper dive on Saturday with you. Thank you.
I can't wait to see you all on Saturday. The links are on LinkedIn. It's in the comments. You can send either of us a message if you missed it, but it's in the comments. Same thing on YouTube, Facebook. It's right there in the comments. Make sure that you secure your spot in this class on Saturday. It promises to be a fantastic time. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for being here. And it is bye for now. Have a fantastic evening, everyone.